It is time to begin my Halloween crochet project of 2025. Welcome to day 29 of Vlogoween, where I am posting regular vlogs in the lead up to Halloween. Think Vlogmas, but Halloween edition. So if you saw day 28, you would have seen me prepping for this project. To give you a quick rundown, if you have not seen that video, I am crocheting my 2025 Halloween crochet project. And I'm basically doing like a fun, kitschy, tacky, vintage style tapestry Halloween cardigan. Very long-winded way to say I'm doing a tapestry cardigan project. It's gonna be Halloween themed. I have gone for some brighter colors. I didn't want to do like, you know, classic Halloween colors. Personally, for me, I like to wear my Halloween projects all year round, or like, you know, as much as I can wear them. I will wear them outside of spooky season, so I didn't want it to be like the cliche kind of like green and orange and purple. I did want to incorporate some other more wearable colors for me and stuff that I know is gonna go well with like the rest of my wardrobe, so I find it easier to style. Also, hello, if you don't know me, my name is Rajan, aka Not Half Bad Crochet, and if you would like to see the rest of my Vlogoween posts, be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you need to catch up on the previous days, I have a whole playlist dedicated to my Vlogoween posts. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, leave me a comment to let me know what you think, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. So today I'm going to be starting on the back panel of my piece. I was debating starting on the front panels or the back panels or the sleeves, but I figured I would get the kind of hardest one done because the back panel is obviously largest because I'm doing a cardigan. It's the largest panel, it's probably the most complex like tapestry piece out of all of the ones that I've got, so I figured I may as well start with the most difficult and kind of like work my way down. If you know me, you know I hate counting, so why I have chosen to do a tapestry piece I don't fucking know, but like the one that I'm wearing currently, I love how a tapestry piece looks. I think it looks so fun, it looks so cool. This is also the Clown College sweater by Aidan Wells Crochet. I participated in their pattern test. I'm not sure if by the time this video comes out if the pattern will be released, but I will tag and link Aidan's socials in the description so you can check out their page and see if there has been any update on the pattern. So if you saw my kind of designing video, which you should totally go check out, and I will link it in the description, or you can go to my playlist and see it there, but I am going to be doing a like haunted house scene for the back panel. In terms of a fit of this cardigan, I want it to be kind of slouchy, I want it to be like oversized, I want it to be like kind of hip length, I don't want it to be cropped or anything like that. So this is going to be like a biggish panel. It's going to be a haunted house. The haunted house is going to have a like full moon with like a witch's silhouette in the background. It's going to have like creepy lighting coming from the windows. I think it's going to be like relatively complex, just sheerly because of the amount of like color changes there's going to be. I think I'm going to be working with like a lot of fucking bobbins for like basically the whole panel. I don't think I'm going to get any reprieve when it comes to this piece, if I'm being so real. But yeah, let me show you my colors and then we can get cracking. Okay, so for the base of my cardigan, which is going to be like the base color throughout the entire piece, it's going to be this like really nice kind of plush candy rosy dusty pink, and it's not actually something that I've kind of crocheted with before in terms of color palette, so I'm really excited to kind of like bring this into my wardrobe a bit more. It's definitely a color that I wear. It's just like tonally so different to any of the pinks that I have. I usually have like a lot of pastel, a lot of hot pinks, a lot of bright pinks, but this is kind of like tonally very different, which I love, but I'll still be able to kind of like style it very simply and also incorporate it into my wardrobe really easily. So this is the base throughout the entire cardigan. Then for the actual haunted house, I am going to be doing it this really bright kind of magenta color. These two are different colors and I don't know if it's kind of particularly obvious. So this is going to be the bulk of the actual haunted house. It's a really bright magenta color. It is from Hayfield. I really love this color. I think it's going to look really good as the haunted house, especially contrasting with the kind of lighter duskier pink. I think it looks so nice. And then this color is basically like the shading, so it's slightly darker. I don't know if you can kind of really see on camera. It is ever so slightly darker. I don't know if it's like too similar, but we will cross that bridge when it comes to it. And also, like, I'm not really that bothered. I feel like if it was like a different color, then I would probably have a bit more of a problem, but because it's just like the shading color, is actually fine, and I will survive if it's not like particularly obvious. And then for the kind of outline of everything, I'm gonna just do it in straight up black. Nothing crazy, nothing funky, literally just black. This is gonna be like the outline of the castle, the outline of the full moon. This is obviously gonna be like the silhouette for the witch. So this is going to be like used throughout the entire project on both the front panels and also the sleeves, because I've like outlined everything in black. I do think that, so the main reason I did this is just because with some of the colors that I've got, like, I just wanted to make sure that everything contrasted really nicely with this color, and I feel like having an outline of everything basically would just like make me feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that like the colors are going to work, because this is the first time I have like designed a full, really big, quite intensive tapestry piece. Like, the only other tapestry pieces I've done are the Clown College sweater, my On Fire sweater by Made in the Moment, and then my Uzma Kappa sweater, and those ones have either been made by other people, or the chart that I did for myself for the Uzma Kappa one was like, it was 2 colors, you know. And it was like, I know that the contrast will work because it's like a sweater that exists in a cartoon world, but still exists. I just wanted to make sure everything contrasted, so everything is going to have like a black outline, which I am absolutely okay with. So yeah, black will also be running throughout the entire project. And then for like the windows and the doorway of the haunted house, I'm going to do this really bright green. I feel like it's going to contrast so nicely with the like magenta of the house. I think it's going to look kind of spooky, you know. I think it's going to give like something spooky is going on inside the house. I also think it's going to contrast really nicely with the background color as well. And then finally for the moon, I went for a more kind of like brighter, lighter lemon shade rather than like an orange or like a brighter yellow, purely because I wanted to. there's no other reason other than I just purely wanted to. So again, I'm a little bit concerned about the color differences of these 2 colors. So this is going to be like the main color, and then this is going to be my shading. I feel like, yeah, on camera you can definitely feel that I can definitely notice a bit more of a difference, but in person it's not as obvious. So I'm hoping in the actual tapestry it will be a lot better. I think again that's going to contrast really nicely with this background color, and obviously we'll then have like the black outline. It's also going to have like the black witch's silhouette around it as well. That's all of the colors. I have made a start on getting like some of my bobbins ready, because like I said, there's going to be like 50 million bobbins throughout like the entire piece. So I'm gonna get my shit together, get my ducks in a row. I do think as well that I'm gonna need to make a few tiny adjustments to the actual graph that I've made. Just like really small ones, because obviously where I've done it, like where I uploaded a photo, some of the colors are like, it's like, oh, it's a light gray rather than a black, or it's like a slightly different color for the house rather than the shading sort of thing. So yeah, I think I just need to go through it in like, you know, a bit more fine-tune, comb through it a little bit more, and yeah, then I can actually get cracking, get started. I think I'm gonna watch Twilight. It's Hawa 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 season. I literally, my partner's not a Twilight person, which is fine, but I love Twilight. I grew up with it. I love it so much. It's terrible, but I love it. And he doesn't know what the Hua 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 season means. Obviously, like, I'm not singing the song, but you know, you get the vibe. But he doesn't know what that means, but he'd seen it. So he's seen the meme, he's seen it like written down. And so yesterday when I was talking about what I wanted to do today, I was like, oh, I'll do it. And I sang the song. I obviously was pissing myself laughing because I couldn't get through it. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, it's Hawawawa season. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh, it's the song. So then I actually like sang the song properly from Twilight. And he was like, oh. And I was like, I've always wondered what that is. So now he knows. Anyway, I'm gonna start. I'm being really brave. I'm gonna start doing it. Okay. I'm scared. What if it turns out really bad? No, it'll be fine. It'll actually be fine. I think it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really cool. I'm being really brave. I'm gonna do so much counting. I'm gonna do so much counting. It'll be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna put wow 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 on, and it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so nice.
look cool. Oh, it does look cool.
I finished it. I finished the back panel. So I haven't provided much of an update recently just because like I was just enjoying the process. Obviously I have lots of ends to weave in. I'm not going to show you the front because I'm going to do like a proper reveal, but I think what my plan is that I'm going to block the panels individually because I have quite a bit of time like before Halloween for me to be able to crochet everything, block everything, and then obviously like assemble and finish it. And there's a lot of ends. There's a lot of ends in this panel. There's going to be a lot of ends in basically every single panel, and I really don't want to be doing all of them all at once. I usually am very much an advocate for like weaving in the ends right at the end of a project, but I think with something like this where I will be blocking the panel separately and I know each panel is fine in terms of like sizing and assembly and stuff, I am actually fine to do the weaving of these ends, but right at the end I'll do the weaving in of like the construction ends, if that makes sense. So like seaming up the panels and the ribbing and blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm gonna block this panel now and then weave in the ends once it's dry. But it's gone really really well. In terms of the sizing, I don't know if you remember from my prep video, I basically said I was like guessing based off of like different DK yarn projects that I'd done. So I literally guessed, and my guess was pretty perfect. Like this panel fits me really really well. This is obviously going to be the back panel. In terms of the actual kind of tapestry piece, I don't know if you remember from my prep video, but this basically was a full moon with like a silhouette of a witch, like a all black silhouette of a witch, and then this kind of like turret, is this called a turret, was actually a lot higher. But basically what I did is that when I uploaded the image, I kind of forgot to leave a little bit of space for like some shaping, like some neck hole shaping for the back panel. So this turret actually sat like basically right to the top of the panel, and then also the full moon with the witch's silhouette I had was sat too high. So you kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was almost like if that was like the top of the moon, it was kind of like that was the top of the panel when I first did the graph. So I was kind of tempted to like re-upload the whole thing again, because it's annoying with stitch fiddle, like normal stitch fiddle, you can obviously do quite a lot on it, but there's some things that you can't do unless you have the premium version. And I really just I really don't want to pay for the premium version because I don't do tapestry crochet enough. And also like the kind of issue that I had was so minor that I was like, so basically you need Stitch Fiddle Premium to be able to select like a part of the graph and then to move things. I presume also resize things as well. So I was like, well, I don't want to pay for it just to kind of move this turret down and then move the witch and the moon down. So I basically just like that was a stitch marker. I basically just like erased the top bit of the turret and the entire moon and the silhouette, and then just added a crescent moon a little bit lower, and then just kind of redid the top of the turret. So yeah, I think this still looks really cute. I still think it looks really nice. Obviously like it wasn't the original design, which I think is actually fine. I can't lie, with the witch's silhouette I wasn't like fully in love with the way the silhouette looked. Like I think it looked like a witch, but I was like, I think it looks like a witch because I know it's a witch, if that makes any sense. But yeah, the actual process of it went really really well. I'm really pleased with how it looks. I love the colors I've chosen. I think this kind of like pale rosy color looks beautiful for like the base color. Also as well, I don't remember if I said, but basically my shadow color or like my shading color of this magenta, the colors were really similar. I don't think you can kind of like really see it, like it's not popping as much as I would like, but like looking at it from the front, I'm like, oh, I can see a little bit of shading. And it's the same with the moon as well. So I'm not sure if you can kind of see there is like a slightly darker yellow here. So again, like I think just I was obviously buying my yarn online, but the pictures are going to look ever so slightly different, and they did look ever so slightly different. And I think where some of them were from like different yarn brands as well. So Obviously I wouldn't have this problem if I was buying the yarn in real life, but like I don't have any yarn shops near me other than Hobbycraft, and I personally think their yarn is very overpriced. There's like a bajillion ends to weave in, which I am actually okay with. Like I really am not that bothered about weaving in ends these days. I'm not as like fussed about it. Obviously I'd prefer not to, and I'd prefer to actually be crocheting. There was a part where I think, especially if you've done tapestry before and you've done kind of like bigger pieces, when I was probably about halfway through, I was like, does this even look like a fucking haunted house? I think it was when my partner was like holding it up for me, because I was like, I don't know if this looks like how I want it to look, and I also don't know if it looks like a haunted house or if it just looks like a fucking like castle or a house. But I suppose like a haunted house does just kind of look like a castle or a house anyway, so like I suppose, yeah. But yeah, that's when he kind of like held it, because he was like, no, like, because I was obviously holding it up for him, so he was like, I think you're just looking at it too closely. So then he held it up for me, and I was like, oh, it does actually look really fucking cool. So I think there was a moment of just like, does this actually look good? And also like, do I like it, sort of thing. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the outcome. I am gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go block it, and then I'll weave in the ends once it's dry. It's kind of warm recently, like the past few days have been kind of warm, so I'm hoping that will dry relatively quickly. But yeah, I will check back in once it's dried, once I've woven in the ends, for the grand reveal. But I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, and yeah, first step, one thing down, we're on to the next. Hi friends, so here's my mixing bowl. Today I'm going to bake. This is where I keep all my bobbins. I feel like I've shared this before. All my bobbins are in there. Okay, update. Back panel is blocking. It's currently still on the blocking mats. It's not fully dry yet, so I can't weave in the ends. I started front panel number 1. I don't remember if I told you guys. Did I tell you? I don't know. But basically, if you saw my prep video, you know that the front panel was, I had one with a pumpkin, like a jack-o'-lantern with like sweets inside it, and then the other one was basically like a bluebell plant, but instead of bluebells they were like little ghosts hanging off of the stems, which I thought was really cute. I just wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't really feeling the bluebells or the boo-bells, and so I decided to change it. I loved zombies. I love The Walking Dead. It's one of my favorite TV shows ever. I love zombie movies. I love zombie shows. I think they're fun and cool. So I was like, let's do a fucking zombie. Cliche kind of like zombie hand coming out of the ground in a graveyard with the moon, blah, blah, blah. I've started it. So let me actually show you the graph. So this is the design. Zombie hand coming out of the ground, gravestones. I need to like fuck around with these gates a little bit, a full moon in the background, these little stars. I don't like this. So basically I was telling my partner about it, and I was like, oh, does this like look okay, blah blah blah, ask for his opinion. Because you know when like you're doing a tapestry, maybe you're doing the grid, or like you're actually crocheting it and you're like, I'm just so close to this, I can't actually like see if it looks like the thing that I'm trying to make. So I was like, does this actually look like a zombie hand? Like, you know, does it look like what I'm trying to make it look like? And he was like, it does, but it does look like the hand is holding a ball. He was like, the moon looks like a ball. And I was like, oh fuck. And I'd already started, like, I think I'm only like maybe 10 rows, not even 10 rows in, very early into the actual tapestry. And I think I was only like, at that point I was only maybe like 4 or 5 rows in. So I was like, oh, okay fine, like I can kind of change that. Obviously like the closer I get to it, I was like, I'll deal with it later. And then I was kind of looking at it some more, and I was like, I don't think I like it. There's something about it that I'm just not fucking with, because I basically want the hand to be this blue color, which I was initially going to have for the ghosts of the bluebells, because obviously I've already bought my yarn, and I think it would look cool because it's kind of like this like turquoisey blue. I think it would look cool as a zombie hand, but this design specifically, I'm just not feeling it. So I think I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to frog what I've already done for this panel, and then basically what I'm thinking for the other front panel, because obviously where they're both front panels, I kind of want the designs to be like not cohesive, but in terms of the framing of them, I want them to be cohesive. The other one wouldn't have worked because I had a jack-o'-lantern which was like short and round, and then I had like the Boo Bells which was tall and long and like narrow and long. So I was like, cohesive wise, I don't think that would have looked good together. So I kind of need to make sure that the designs that I'm choosing are like, you know, good, look good together, but also obviously look good with like the rest of the designs of the cardigan. So what I'm thinking is to change this design. I still do want like a zombie graveyard scene. I also wasn't really the biggest fan of the whole, like the whole bottom part of this being green. I think I maybe only wanted like little tufts of grass like here and there sort of thing, because I will be doing ribbing and stuff, but like I don't want any of the edges to not be the color of the cardigan, like the rosy pink color. I'm also thinking of, for the other one, doing basically like a jack-o'-lantern in a jack-in-the-box, if that makes sense, but having the outside of the box be like fun. If I feel like I'm not selling this well at all, but like, yeah, I just want, if I have that vision in my mind, okay, and I just need to see if I can actually fucking execute it. So yeah, basically, long story short, I don't like the current design. I'm gonna frog what I've done already, which isn't a huge amount. I am a bit worried to deal with the tangly yarn, but that's okay. And then redo the front panel designs. We're kind of back to the drawing board, literally. So yeah, I'm gonna fuck around on Canva, see what I can find, see what I can make. You know what's really annoying is that obviously, like I said, Stitch Fiddle makes you pay for like certain aspects of their thing that make it easier to use, but also if I had a tablet, this would be so much easier, because if I could draw what I wanted, this would be so much easier. I'm obviously using my mouse to try and draw like a fucking circle. It is a little bit harder. Part of me is like, oh, if I could just like literally draw it on a tablet, that would make my life so much easier, and I'd be able to edit things once I've already uploaded like the photo that I've like, you know, edited down sort of thing. I think I've got like a vision in my mind. I just need to see if it will actually like translate, you know? So I'm gonna do that. I'll let you know how it goes, but the whole project is going well. It's kind of like late September. I'm also going on holiday in a couple of days, which you will have already seen the vlogs for. So I kind of want to get like a start on this project so that I can take parts of it with me on holiday, so I can crochet in like the evenings and stuff. I'm very confident that I'll get it done in time before Halloween. So yeah, I just have to actually figure out what the fuck I'm doing, but all is well, all is well. So I finished it. I just sped through this really without like doing it on purpose, but I just managed to finish it really fast. So once again, I will not show you until it's blocked and all the ends are weaved in. But yeah, the panel, one panel of the front part of the cardigan is done. I did go for a jack-o'-lantern in a jack-in-the-box, which I think is quite punny, and I added these cute little like stars on the side just as like a little accent. The jack-o'-lantern also has like a little witch's hat on it. I think this is really cute. I absolutely love the colours. I love how vibrant it is. I did this like, which you obviously can't see, I did like a swirly pattern on the sides of the jack-in-the-box. And for this panel I actually decided to float my yarn a little bit more. There were some parts, especially like with the spiral and like the jack-o'-lantern's face, where I would have had to add like maybe 4 or 5 extra bobbins for that one area, and I was like, this is silly. So I did float the yarn in some areas, but not all of them. I did for the majority use bobbins. But yeah, this panel looks really good. The one thing that I noted is that when I was doing the graph, I did the graph so it was 60 stitches along, but then when I started, I think I was like 3 rows in, and luckily I actually checked the measurement, but it was just far too big, so I changed it to 40 stitches along, which I think is a lot more suitable. Luckily I didn't have to like redo the whole graph, because the whole piece just kind of sat on like the first 4, you know, segments of the graph, so obviously the like 40 stitches, so that worked out pretty well, because I would have been really annoyed if I had to do it all over again, because with the spring and like the swirls, I had to go over everything like quite a lot of detail. So it did take me quite a long time to like refine this graph, just purely because it's quite detailed. I think like the jack-o'-lantern's face looked a bit like ski whiff as well, and where his face is kind of like at an angle, it was like quite hard to do. So yeah, the graph did take a lot of like finessing, and it was quite finicky, but I managed to get it done. I think the panel looks really good. Also as well, I did finish panel number 2. So obviously I was going to be doing a like zombie hand coming out of a like a grave, with like a grave scene sort of thing, and I tried so many variations, and it was really hard for me to kind of like get the hand to look like a hand, and like then get the hand to look like a zombie hand. Funnily enough, hands are actually very difficult to draw, which, you know, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? So yeah, I decided to abandon the hand, and I basically went with a little ghost wearing a party hat, holding a balloon that looks like a skull. So that's the vibe that I went for. It's a little blue ghost with a fun little party hat, and I did the graph yesterday, started it yesterday, and finished it. I did finish it like relatively late, at like 11:30. I mean, it didn't take that long. I think purely because obviously this is probably, out of the 3 panels I've done so far, probably the least detailed, because the ghost is just like all one solid color. I did some like shading areas in the corner of the ghost, and then like with the party hat there's like these little kind of accents on it as well, just to add like a little bit more color, and like the skull's face has obviously like the eyes and the nose and stuff. So yeah, I think out of all of them, this is probably like the least detailed, so I just like really sped through it, like again without doing it on purpose, but yeah, went through really quickly. And then I added these like green little accented stars. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how both of these panels have turned out. I'm actually flying on holiday today, so that's kind of like one of the reasons why I like stayed up a little bit later last night to just get this done, because I want to block these panels now, and then by the time I come back from holiday they'll both be dry, I can weave in the ends, and then I'm good to go basically. So yeah, that's how it's going. It's going really well. I will obviously give you an update once I'm back from my holiday, once I've woven in all the ends, and then I can do a proper reveal. I did it. I finished them. So both front panels, my back panel are complete. The ends have been weaved in. So yeah, I'm ready to start the next phase. I had such a fun time doing this, you know. I think it's funny because obviously I was looking at my prep video kind of recently. I've changed the idea for basically the entire prep apart from the back panel because I don't know, I wasn't vibing with the kind of scenes that I was doing originally. And I think these are just so perfect. Like these two together side by side I think look so fun. I'm really pleased with how both of these panels have turned out, and I'm really glad that I made the decision to change the designs because I just wasn't in love with the other ones, you know. Here is also a look at the back. So with the jack-o'-lantern one I did end up doing a few more floats rather than bobbins. I think it looks so fun. It looks really good. I am noticing though with the smile on the jack-o'-lantern, I think maybe just because of the way that I did the chart, it kind of looks like the smile is like slightly disconnected on this bit. There is actually a stitch like joining it, but I think because it was like backwards or whichever way I did it, it just looks like it's disconnected. So I think I might go over that little bit with just like a surface stitch just to kind of like connect that part of the mouth because it looks a little bit disjointed at the moment. But I'm really pleased with how this panel has turned out. And then we have my little ghosty with his balloon. I think this has turned out so cute. When I was making this chart I was like super paranoid that it just looked like a blob, and I kept being like to my partner, I was like, does this look like a ghost, does this look like a ghost? And he was like, yeah, like it looks like a ghost. So yeah, I think I was like not particularly confident with this one, but as I started crocheting it I was like, oh, this is actually turning out really cute. This is what the back of it looks like. You can see obviously I did a few more floats for the little stars and for the like hat area, the little party hat with the eye on the skull, and then across here with like the line, like the string of the balloon, and then the actual ghost, the eyes again. And yeah, but I didn't really need half as many bobbins as when I did with the other panels. But yeah, that's the back of it. So with this one, probably used the most amount of bobbins. Like the only parts where I really did floats were probably around the windows, just where obviously I needed to change colour like back and forth quite a lot, like literally every 2 or every 1 stitch. So it just made more sense for me to float for the windows, but pretty much everywhere else I did have bobbins. So this one was crazy with the amount of bobbins. Like you can really kind of tell at the bottom how many times I would have had to change color for like just the first few rows. I think I'm also glad that I decided to remove the witch's silhouette from the full moon, because looking at the size of the moon, I think I would have really struggled to kind of like catch the amount of detail that would have been needed for the witch's silhouette, that I think if I actually executed it, it would not have looked like a witch. So yeah, I'm glad I changed my mind in that sense. But I love the colours that I've chosen for this panel. I think it looks really good and it contrasts so nicely. And I was like, oh god, does this just look like a fucking house? But I am like, it does look like a spooky house. Like this looks like a cliche, classic, spooky, haunted house, which is exactly what I wanted. But yeah, I'm done with the front panels and the back panel, so I'm gonna end this vlog here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I started on my 2025 Halloween crochet project. If you obviously want to see the rest of the project and to catch the rest of my Vlogoween posts, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and leave me a comment to let me know what you think. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one.